Hello, everyone, and welcome to the November meeting of the Historic Conservation Commission. I'm Gary Lear, Chair of the HCC, and I would like to introduce the commission. To my left, Jeffrey Long, our Historic Officer and Registered Architect. To my far left is Craig Evans, resident of the district. To my right is Todd Chambers, architect with business interests in the district. And to my far right is Mike Simonson, Chief Building Inspector. Ordinance information is the purpose and intent of the City of Bethlehem to promote, enhance, and preserve historic resources and traditional community character for the education, cultural, economic, and general welfare of the public through the preservation, protection, and regulation of buildings in areas of historic interest or importance within the city, which have been determined to be of local, state, or national significance. The way the meeting will unfold is the applicants will be taken in order. After identifying the project address and the presenters, our historic officer will provide a background on the building and any recommendations. At that time, the applicant will present their project and plan. The board will then address the project, allow public comment, and ultimately create a motion to approve as presented, approve with modifications, table the project with clear recommendations, or deny the project with reasons for the denial and changes or improvements which would result in a positive recommendation. For public comment, there is a 3-minute time limit, and comments must be specific to attributes of the building only. Speakers are to announce themselves with their name and address before speaking. The HCC is a recommending board, and the results of our meeting will be presented to City Council, and their vote will be binding. Please do not forget to secure your permit from the permit office on the first floor of City Hall before you begin your project. Above all, I remind everyone to conduct themselves in a civil manner and always use a civil tone. The commission is here to help you with your project. We are a group of volunteers who are dedicated to historic preservation and restoration of older buildings in Bethlehem and beyond. If any commission members have a conflict of interest with any of the applications on tonight's agenda, please come forth at this time. No? Great. And again, just want to announce that item number 5327 South New Street is not going to be on the agenda tonight. If there's anyone here who for that, okay, great. With that, we will start the meeting with the first applicant for 25 East 3rd Street. Okay, yeah, please come up to this table here, sign in and announce your name.
So my client, who's the owner of the store, is walking in now. He says he's about
Okay.
2 minutes away.
Okay,
My name is Scott, and I'm with D Signs and Awnings.
thanks for coming, Scott.
And instead of signing, if you could print, please, just so I can read.
Yeah,
your
you
name.
of course, partner. You got it.
Thank you. Shall I do the introduction, and then by that time the client will be here? Or shall we?
Okay.
The building description, period, style, and defining features. This structure is a single-story attached commercial storefront with a flat roof. The stepped terracotta parapet includes scrollwork details, while the terracotta cornice and side panels feature egg and dart moldings. The sign band is exposed brick masonry. The aluminum and glass storefront was modified in the late 20th century, while large format tiles at the apron and the recessed entry were used to replace similar tiles following damage caused by a car accident in 2012. The building dates from circa 1920 and is classical revival in style. There was a slight, I think, misprint in the agenda. It said non-illuminated. That was not correct, so I amended it slightly.
Mhm.
Proposed alterations, the applicant proposes to install one new wall sign with LED illuminated backlit channel letters within the existing sign band and 5 new printed vinyl signs within the storefront transoms. The guideline citations I used for my assessment include the Secretary of Interior Standard Number 9. That concerns new additions, exterior alterations, or related new construction. Also the ordinance that Mr. Later read at the beginning of tonight's meeting, and then also the specific Conservation Commission guidelines for signage. Specifically, it says care should be taken in mounting signs to minimize damage to any materials. This includes taking advantage of existing mortar joints for installing hardware rather than drilling directly into masonry units to facilitate future sign replacement. On my evaluation of the proposal, the effects on the district, and recommendations, the certificate of appropriateness application and the supplemental document indicate the intent to install a new rigid sign backer with applied backlit channel letters within the existing sign band above the storefront, and also to install new printed vinyl signs within the 5 existing storefront transoms, all to reflect the new commercial tenant. The scale drawing of the proposed signage with elevation or the facade view, which is indicated on the application as required, is not included, so the application is incomplete. The existing sign band measures 36 inches tall by 360 inches wide. The proposed sign measures 30 inches tall by 144 inches wide. Thus, the proposed sign fits within the existing sign band. There is a computer-generated image. Again, that's not a scale drawing. That's why I consider the application incomplete. The computer-generated image seems to indicate that the proposed sign is centered horizontally and vertically within the sign band. The proposed backer is a 0.04 aluminum panel with a rear frame that is fabricated from 1 inch by 1 inch aluminum tubing. That is to be installed flush with the existing brick masonry facade using L brackets attached with 4 lag screws into the existing mortar joints. The proposed color of the backer is Sherwin-Williams peppercorn dark gray. Affixed to the rigid backer are individual channel letters with solid faces and sides, painted in a warm white or ivory color that read Crispy Halal in large, bold, stylized cursive lettering. The channel letters are fabricated from 0.08 aluminum with overall depth of 2 inches. The individual letters are pin mounted into the sign backer using 2 to 5, depending on which letter, 2 to 5 3/8-inch bolts for each letter. The backs of the letters are offset 2 inches from the face of the backer. The proposed lettering includes 1500 Kelvin LED backlit illumination in red color, resulting in a halo effect. The proposed signage within the existing sign band is appropriate, pending clarification of a few details. It was unclear if the sides of the aluminum frame behind the backer are also painted peppercorn gray to match the front of the sign face. Also, it seems that based on the description, the fasteners for each channel letter, the pin-mounted letters, might extend through the backer and into the existing brick facade as an alternative to avoid multiple installation points. Because if they're estimating between 2 and 5 pins per letter, that's just a lot of pins going into the brick face. Perhaps they might increase the thickness of the rigid backer and pin the channel letters into the backer and avoid going all the way through into the brick facade. Also, just for our resulting certificate, we need confirmation there are no conduits, raceways, or junction boxes associated with that illumination that are visible. And finally, HCT traditionally encourages an offset pinstripe detail in a complementary color around the perimeter of the signage. That's just based on examples throughout the district. So they might want to consider integrating such a detail. But again, without a true scale drawing, it's a little hard to tell. They might, however, have to resize the channel letters slightly because they seem to go almost to the edge of the backer. If you do encourage and they agree to a pinstripe, they might have to slightly reduce the dimensions of the lettering to accommodate the pinstripe. So beyond the backer, they also have proposed graphics for 5 storefront transoms fabricated from vinyl applications installed on the glass surfaces. Based on the provided computer-generated image, each sign seems to fill the full height and width dimension of each glazed opening. The background of each vinyl sign seems to match the dark gray peppercorn color proposed for the rigid sign backer. I couldn't find a label of the color, and again, we don't control color, but it's just always good to integrate the color into the resulting certificate. The graphics for each vinyl sign are large, bold, all uppercase, sans serif lettering in warm white or ivory color, centered vertically and horizontally. From left to right, the transom signs read platters, gyros or gyros, depending on where you come from, fried chicken, tenders, and sandwiches. According to the HCC meeting agenda, each proposed sign measures 24 inches tall by 54 inches wide, and installation is on the inside glass surfaces of each transom. That appears on the printed agenda from the city. However, I couldn't find mention of any of that in the supplemental. So maybe they communicated that, but that was not on what you received and not what I received. So I would just request for clarification that they confirm again that the dimensions of the sign, so I can incorporate that into the certificate, the color, and if indeed they're to be installed on the inside glass surfaces.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Okay, well, welcome, gentlemen. And, would you be able to clarify for us some of the points Jeff raised? So first of all, tell us about how the individual channel letters are fastened.
Sure, they're stud mounted to the backer panel.
Okay, so they
Yeah.
won't go into the brick then?
They do not. The
Okay,
studs
great.
do not enter the brick.
Okay.
That's why they're on the backer panel.
Okay, good to know. Is there any, and you're aware, no exposed conduits, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is an offset pinstripe on the backer acceptable? Is that something you'd consider?
Due to the nature of the letters being uppercase and the Y falling so low beneath it, we'd have to substantially decrease the size of these letters. And I'm not sure if our clients, that'd be your call, partner.
So Gary and I had a little sidebar about that, and we feel like you can add the pinstripe and it can in effect run behind the letters
Yeah, I agree.
without decreasing the size of them, and it would still serve the effect that's mandated in our guidelines without having you to
Reduce
reduce the size of the letters.
And that color it'd be the same off-white as the letters? to
Red or
match?
off-white.
That's up to you, my friend. So typically with these backer panels, you suggest a pinstripe around the letters, right? So is there a size that you
It'd be a
recommend?
rectangle, right? Say set 2 inches in from the edge of the backer panel, and maybe it's a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch in thickness.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think there's some flexibility in how far in you set it.
Yeah.
But I think because you're doing it on the backer panel, it shouldn't, I think it's okay for the letters to be in front of it.
They could add a little bit of dimension to the signage, which would be cool. I'm just not sure. I can't approve the aesthetic wise, right? That's up to.
What do you mean by the?
They're suggesting a pinstripe in off-white around the signage. Why? It's part of your guidelines, right?
Right.
That's something.
Yep.
That,
Correct. It's not for every letter. It's just the backer board itself.
Just
right, a
just the
single
backer
line.
board.
Yep,
Yep.
I understand. Now, is that something that is? Does he have a choice in the matter? I mean, because we could always create a proposal for him to see and
It's
decide.
consider it a strong recommendation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Without it would be better. It's just gonna too much colors. Want to keep it simple.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could voice that, brother. He'd rather not use the pinstripes.
Okay.
So where does that leave us?
Well, let's, I think we were also looking for clarification on the dimensions of the lettering and the transoms. And also, can you clarify too, the, platters, gyros, fried chicken and all that? Is that, were you also doing some kind of background to fill in the transoms, or was this just going onto clear glass?
So that's colored vinyl, the same color as the backer panel.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and it would be mounted on the inside. We know you guys like the vinyl printed in reverse and on the inside
Okay.
of the building.
And why is it opaque versus transparent? Or, why are we obscuring the glass with an opaque vinyl?
I'm not sure I understand what you're.
So you're printing on solid vinyl, right? So
Right.
you're going to lose the transparency of the glass, right?
Mhm.
Is there a reason you want to do that versus just putting the vinyl letters on the glass, which I think again would be a more
There is a
favorable
reason.
approach, but
The height right next to on the inside, for about 6 foot in, the height is low. So all you see is an empty space. You don't see the actual ceiling or the inside of the restaurant. The previous restaurant place that was here, they had a lower ceiling
I
height.
see.
Okay.
So they already have
Yes,
effectively spandrel panels or,
yes.
got it. Thank you.
What's the size of the lettering?
If there's a limit, we can absolutely abide by it. It's not on the proposal. These windows are 2 foot by 4.5 foot. I'd say they're anywhere between 3 to 6 inches. They would all be the same size for the lettering.
Well, let's nail it down. How can you work with 4 inches?
We'll make
Okay.
it work, my friend.
I was going to suggest that also.
Okay. We're really on the same wavelength tonight.
I know, right?
Okay, any other questions or clarifications here?
Hmm. Okay, actually, something was just brought to my attention here.
Yes.
The windows aren't accessible from the inside to
Okay.
apply vinyl to, which means the existing vinyl that's there from the previous tenant, it was applied on the outside of the building.
And I think typically we want to see it inside to reduce the chance of vandalism, right?
No, it's
durability.
a maintenance thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's not accessible from the inside, then I don't think you have a choice, right? You have to put it on the outside.
And there's the cornices.
We have
Protecting
approved it
us.
outside elsewhere.
Plus, this is high, right?
Yeah.
It's probably 8 feet above the sidewalk, so
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it on the outside.
Yeah, you could put it in on the.
Yeah, it's also something that we'll double check. If it's accessible, we'll absolutely be putting it on the inside of the building.
Okay.
That's no problem.
Any other questions or comments here? Any questions or comments from the audience, from the public? Okay.
Did we, just one last comment, did we determine the sides, are they painted? I know that was one of your questions, right? Was it sides of the backer panel?
Oh, okay, right. Hmm.
Frame.
The frame.
Is it all painted that?
The backer panel itself would be the same color as that charcoal on the front. Be
Okay.
the same color all the way around. Yeah, because there's a 1-inch tubing.
Yep.
So the 1-inch bend will be the same color as the face.
Just one more question for clarification. So, on the graphic we're seeing here, the red is just representing the backglow from the LED?
No, I think it's 2 colors on the signage face.
Oh, it is?
2-inch.
Color off, because,
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question, Gary.
yeah, I honestly thought it was just backglow.
Or is
Okay,
that
that is representing the color of the side of the letters. So that'd be red side with a red glow.
Oh, okay. So that 2-inch dimension, it's just the sides that are red.
Mhm.
Okay.
got it?
All right. Thanks. Okay. Anybody ready for a motion on this one?
So you really won't do the pinstripe?
Yeah, please. I wouldn't
It's
want
going
it.
to influence my vote. I'm just,
Sure. I mean, I already, we wanted the paint, that one didn't work. We wanted something bigger, we shrinked it. If we keep on changing it, then the whole logo will just not what we stand for. So it would really help if it's not there.
Go for it, Todd.
I'm not going to make a motion.
Oh,
on that
okay.
one.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you,
to
Craig.
approve
Yeah.
the application for I'll move that we recommend a certificate of appropriateness for 25 East Third Street for the submission as presented with the vinyl lettering for the transom windows to be interior if it's possible, otherwise an exterior application. The lettering on the transom section should be 4 inches.
Right. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Okay. Can we get in there too, that fasteners are only extending into the backer panel for the individual
With
channelers?
also the provision that any fasteners do not penetrate the brick surface beneath the backer board.
Okay, I'll second. Let's put to a vote. Craig?
Aye.
Aye. Todd?
Nay.
Mike?
Nay.
Okay,
I think, and I'll make the comment, I think it needs a pinstripe. We make everybody on Third Street put pinstripes on there.
okay,
Even the later application today has a pinstripe on it.
okay. All right,
Doors down.
all right. So,
We're deadlocked.
yeah, so,
Point of order,
thank you.
typically the chair breaks a tie. So in this case, there's actually not a tie. There's,
mhm.
So the motion carries if Gary voted yes.
if there were 5 of you there, you would wait until, all 5 and break that tie. So,
Okay,
so yeah, formally the chair carries.
okay. So you're saying 2 against 2, and because in this situation, the motion would
Because you
carry.
voted yes, the motion carries.
Okay.
Point of order, that's fine.
Okay.
Fine.
All right. Looks like you got your sign.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
So next steps here, we have to again file for a sign application or a zoning application with the zoning office.
Yeah, now you have to file a permit application with the approved drawing.
Right.
For the building.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, we're up to item number 2 for 1315 East Third Street.
Emmanuel Patricio. I'm one of the owners at 13 to 15 East 3rd Street.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I have a few supplementals as well, Jeff.
You have enough for everybody?
Yes. So these are some materials. There should be 5 there. And so one for you.
Oh, great. Thank you.
And
I'll just ask him when he's.
Grab that chair.
There we go.
From the applicant, please.
Jeff, we also have a rendering.
Here's his case. In case you want to talk.
Thanks.
Gary and I can share. Christine, if you want to pass that down.
Okay, thanks.
So 13 through
Right.
15 East 3rd Street. The building description, period, style, and defining features. These two adjacent attached 3-story structures are tan brick masonry commercial and residential buildings with front-facing pediments, corbelled brick details, large format terracotta elements, continuous bands of cast stone window sills at both upper floor levels, flat roofs, along with the simple upper cornices with metal capped parapets. Both large storefronts were modified during the mid-20th century, resulting in the loss of many defining architectural features. The front facade includes 1/1 double-hung windows in anodized brick bronze finish, while second floor level windows are arched and include solid metal panels within the terracotta arches. These buildings were formerly the F&W Grand stores and date from circa 1915. They are classical revival in style with Romanesque details and are possibly the work of Bethlehem's renowned architect A.W. Lay. Proposed alterations. The applicant proposes to modify the existing sign band and storefronts, including replacement of an existing freestanding display case to create a new entrance vestibule, and also to paint the existing continuous band of cast stone window sills at both upper floor levels. The guideline citations I use to assess the proposal include the Secretary of Interior's standard number 4, changes to a property that have acquired historic significance in their own right will be retained and preserved. Secretary of Interior standards number 5, distinctive materials, features, finishes, and construction techniques for examples of craftsmanship that characterize a property will be preserved. Secretary of Interior standards number 6, deteriorated historic features will be repaired rather than replaced. Where the severity of the deterioration requires replacement of a distinctive feature, the new feature will match the old in design, color, texture, and other visual qualities, and where possible, materials. Secretary of Interior standards number 9, new additions, exterior alterations, or related new construction will not destroy the historic materials, features, and spatial relationships that characterize the property. The new work shall be differentiated from the old and would be compatible with the historic materials, features, size, scale, and proportion, as well as massing to protect the integrity of the property and its environment. Also, the Bethlehem ordinance that Mr. Lader read at the beginning of tonight's meeting, the Historic Conservation Commission design guidelines, relevant pages concerning masonry and storefronts, and specifically I've copied page 17 of those guidelines and distributed that at the beginning of this agenda item. And then we also have the Historic Commission design guidelines for storefronts, where at first it seems quite straightforward, simple proposal, but it does have a lot of things to consider, a lot of different kind of layers of information. So my evaluation of the effect on the district and recommendations. The Certificate of Appropriateness application indicates the intent to modify the existing sign band and storefronts and also to paint the existing cast stone window sills. Based on the provided narrative and the accompanying drawing sheets, the overall form of the existing commercial storefronts will remain, with the exception of reconfiguring the freestanding display case at the far left to become a dedicated entrance leading to the upper level residential units. The glass storefronts will be appropriately replaced with new butt glazed insulated glass following the same configuration as the existing. And just to comment, the applicant should be aware that appropriate glazing is not reflective, tinted, or colored. The new wall defining the dedicated entrance at the far left appropriately mimics the existing 4 storefronts elsewhere, with a tile base at the low knee wall and a smooth substrate wall above with panel moldings. The applicant proposes to install a new aluminum full glazed storefront doors with transoms. Unfortunately, in my opinion, both pairs of the existing historic storefront doors and transoms with fluted mullions are not being retained or used as inspiration for the replacement doors and transoms. So I provided two sheets. One was a copy from the design guidelines. I'll get to that in a moment. The other, because it doesn't really show up well in the drawing provided by the applicant, both addresses have recessed entrances. They have pairs of entrance doors, and there's a decorative mullion not only between those two doors, but also in the transom above. Both doors admittedly need some work, one perhaps more than others. And perhaps they have other reasons, I don't know, fire code or whatever. But the replacements don't recall any of those details, and it doesn't explain why they're not utilizing such a distinctive material and feature that's based on a couple of the Secretary of Interior standards that I cited. It would, according to them, it should be retained, repaired, and/or replaced in kind rather than something quite different, and they're proposing something quite different. The new floor tiles being proposed as replacements for the mosaic tiles that spell out F and W grand stores are at both commercial entrances. They mentioned the proposed design, material samples, and specs would be submitted prior to the meeting as soon as possible. I think that's probably what we just received at the beginning of this agenda item. I didn't see samples. I did see some printouts of some specifications. So similar to the previous comment, these are quite distinctive features, in my opinion, should be retained, repaired, and/or replaced, yet again in satisfaction of the relevant Secretary of Interior standards. I did do an on-site inspection, and they did include in their packet the tiles for number 15 East 3rd Street, which admittedly does need some work. Number 13 I found to be in pristine condition, to be honest, and I included a detail of that, those mosaic tiles in the supplemental page I provided as well. They would need very little, if any, repair work. So yet again, according to the relevant Secretary of Interior standards, those should be repaired or replaced in kind, and I think they're proposing perhaps something quite different. And then indeed, in the actual design guidelines that depict signage on page 17, and that's what I copied and highlighted, this very mosaic is included as a perfect example of signage that should be encouraged, and it says specifically HCC encourages the retention of distinctive flooring, and the specific flooring appears in our guidelines. So in my opinion, there's definite discussion warranted to understand why they're proposing to replace the flooring. There is also a new tile proposed for the low knee walls. Similar to above, it states that those will be provided prior to the meeting. Perhaps in the information we received, there's some information about that proposal as well. So I'm not able to determine the appropriateness of anything because I didn't have anything before tonight's meeting. The remnants of the old awning system at the existing sign band, they propose to be removed as appropriate and replaced with paneled moldings. That would be appropriate, but the drawing they presented does not include any indication of the moldings. So it would be nice to understand kind of their vision for, because right now it's just one blank sign band. They note that if there's a need to replace or repair the sign band due to the poor condition, they're proposing smooth fiber cement wall panels or medium density overlay plywood. HCC traditionally, with a choice, prefers either fiber cement or composite panels over plywood, but again, that can be discussed. There is an existing tin ceiling, and it is visible from the public right-of-way. They propose for it to be retained and painted, which is appropriate. There are 3 new pendant fixtures proposed as exterior lighting, one centered at each entrance. The project narrative referenced the product specifications. I did find one page labeled forms in all capitals that had certain dimensions, but I wouldn't call them necessarily specifications. So we would want to know things like the materials. It looks like a glass globe hanging from a metal rod. Ideally, we would have the fabricator, the material, the finish, all those kind of things of their preferred fixture, simply so I can integrate it into the certificate. Applicant should also be aware that LE lighting is limited to maximum 3000 Kelvin color temperature in satisfaction of relevant design guidelines to use, quote, low wattage warm light bulbs within the conservation district. And similar to the previous one, would just appreciate confirmation there are no conduits, raceways, or junction boxes visible after the installation of the proposed fixtures. And then the final component, the applicant proposes to paint the existing continuous bands of cast stone windowsills at both upper floor levels with a silicate paint that would match the color of the existing stone. Yet again, relevant design guidelines state that HCC will not recommend for approval applying waterproof or water repellent coatings on masonry or stucco. I do know that they've proposed a specific product, and I'll let them clarify that. It's just I couldn't find in our records where we've entertained the product they're proposing. HCC traditionally interprets the guideline I just quoted to include paint applied to any unpainted masonry or stucco surfaces. So in the discussion, in my opinion, it's warranted to understand the proposed necessity for painting the cast stone masonry surfaces, while noting the Secretary of Interior standards encourage that deteriorated historical features be repaired rather than covered over. So if they're concerned, is there certain repairs or something, then typically we would request that those be repaired and replaced in kind. And finally, it states that if necessary, chemical or physical treatment should be undertaken using the gentlest means possible. So depending on how they want to approach it, we would want to include that statement in any kind of certificate. So again, looks like a very simple, straightforward proposal, but it has a lot of elements to it
Sure.
that reflect a lot of different guidelines and Secretary of Interior standards.
Thank you, Jeff, and welcome.
So I'll try to answer some of the questions and give as much information as I can. Jeff, it's actually a single building. The partition down the center was added in the last, gosh, not very long, 10 years. But it interior wise, when you look at it, it is a single building. From what I know, it is AWLA, and it was a single room occupancy type hotel at one time. This building has been vacant since prior to 1985. And to see something, I mean, essentially vacant, right? We had a couple of not very good uses on the first floor. But to see this building now being renovated is a great thing, I feel, for the street. I've worked with the new owners, and they have a certain vision, and I'm trying to guide through what I understand in terms of what the board would like. First of all, the residential entrance piece, now it will be apartments, and to have that be an obvious entrance is of importance to the client. Right now, one doesn't know how to get in to the second floor. You really have to know. So we're trying to follow, as Jeff said, the shape of the rest of the storefront system here. I'm not sure where I'll start, but the doors, I believe, and I might not have it exactly right. The owners would like to change out the doors. The other item is that I believe each door right now is not ADA width because of that center mullion. And so that led also partially to the decision to replace and then tie it in with the storefront system that we're proposing, which would have top and bottom tracks, and then tying that into the aluminum system for the doors. The panels and the sign band area, this has sort of evolved since we submitted, but they are now proposing, even though it doesn't show in the flat drawings, and it's the rendering's a little dark, but there's 3 panels being proposed now that you would have a recessed panel, the stiles and rails over that, and then a molding, probably a Belection molding, something that's heavy enough to read. And that would allow the owners to have potentially one use on the storefront, I mean, the retail space, one use, or potentially 2. It's their preference to have a single tenant. But this, by developing the 3 panels, would give them a little bit of options in terms of placement of future signage. Also, what has evolved is the light fixtures, the pendants. They were the one that I had submitted was something that I had quickly done a screenshot of and forgot to get all the info on. And then anyway, it has evolved, and the owners would like to do Raven Star light fixtures. I don't have precise specs on that yet, but something that would be appropriately scaled to the entrance points. It's very hard to get quick samples of frostproof tile that are exactly what you would like. So we don't have the samples. We are working towards a tile knee wall. It's a short knee wall of a reeded tile. And in I believe the packet I gave to you, see a sort of medium green. And that's reeded in shape. Again, I screenshotted it and forgot to get the info because I was just looking for materials to show possibilities. So we don't have the exact spec yet. I wonder if that is something we could supply either at a future meeting or as a sort of perhaps staff approval or something like that. Now the tile for the entrances, we're proposing to replace them as the owners would like to do that. The one is in poor condition, the other is not, although it will change because we are changing the way the residential entrance works. So the tile will be cut off differently as that gets developed. The proposal is actually a hex also, which the tile on the floors is a small hex, and then square, I believe square for the actual inset that says FW Grand or FNW. So the owners were looking at a larger format hexagonal, actually Carrara tile, which is in the packet. And then I don't have anything yet on the band that they wanted to do around, which they're proposing to do a dark green. Again, I don't have that frostproof option yet. And I think the owners might want to weigh in on that after, obviously, the board might want to discuss the tile floors. We understand that the glass would be as clear as possible. It would not have any tint or mirroring. I think that might cover everything. In terms of molding cross sections, I can supply that.
The glass would be insulated?
Yes.
What's painting the cast stone sills?
So the owners could weigh in a little bit. I think it is that they felt after cleaning the brick that they stood out as just not clean and bright. The silica paint, I said, might be the only thing that could be considered. The silica paint chemically bonds with unpainted masonry. And I think the intent there is to keep the color essentially the same, but to try and clean it up.
Okay. Do you know what is the width of the existing entrance doors?
You know, I don't have that exactly. I know we had a hard time at one point. We were looking at the 6-foot double doors, and we were, just didn't have hardly had enough room to get those in. So, we are under. I just didn't get those dimensions in my head.
It sounds like part of this work, well, I'm guessing what's going to happen is all of the existing storefronts are removed, right? And I guess with that, all the moldings and all of that ceiling got to come down too for.
The ceiling come down, did you say?
Yeah, is that right?
I was hoping to keep it in place.
Oh, okay. But that big, thick decorative crown molding, I mean, that probably has to be moved for this work. I don't know.
I'm hoping we can keep it in place.
Okay.
And if we have to do anything, that we keep the change inside,
Okay.
because it's a tin ceiling inside as well.
Okay.
They made such gorgeous thin storefront material in the past, and you just to try and keep it from getting clunky is a real trick.
Yeah.
And you can't, it's very hard to repair it.
Yep.
How much of a drop would the pendant lights have?
I think the doors are 7-foot doors, so we try to keep them above that, slightly above. I think we actually were looking at the taller doors even, were we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Actually, what you see there is actually 8-foot doors.
Yeah.
So right now, it looks like we're missing the size of the proposed hexagonal tile.
It's
right?
3-inch.
Oh, it is?
It's not on the sheet, I'm sorry,
Oh,
but it
okay.
is 3-inch.
Okay. And how much bigger is that than what's there?
I didn't measure it, Gary. I think
a 1 inch.
what's there is probably like an inch,
Okay.
maybe 1.5 inches.
I would assume it's an inch and a half.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit bigger than the square lettering and signage.
How wide are the new doors?
They are 3 foot each. So you have a 6-foot opening in.
And there's no mullion in the middle?
No mullion.
Yeah. Is it possible to leave the existing transom as it is and just cut out that center piece, astragal, whatever we want to call it, and still have enough room in there to get to a pair of 3-foot leaves?
It's staying with wood then, right?
Is that the existing
Oh, because it's
material,
an
Christine?
existing
Yeah.
wood right
Wood
now?
frame.
Yeah, it's wood.
I mean, I would suggest at a minimum, introducing a vertical in the transom to mimic the configuration of what's there.
Yep.
Right? If we're doing a new aluminum door system, let's try and mimic as closely as
just to-
possible the existing configuration. I know it's not going to be
Just suggesting doing.
decorative, but they're getting
Yeah,
to
to
the
this,
point where it's
yeah. We'd rather have it one.
tough to keep these going.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, we might have to demo this during construction. And there's already holes in it, so I mean, that's a possibility. Maybe we.
there's a lot of damage all around the ceiling. So
Don't
that
want
would-
it back up.
what was that?
Is this photo the one that's in worse condition?
I believe that the one I had was the worst. Yes,
Yeah.
the other one is better. This one is cracked.
It's just like kind of dropped too. So there's like
There's a shift.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
clear.
shift on it.
I'm sorry, what are you saying? There's like a shift in the
There's like
floor
a-
level? Okay.
Yeah.
Frost heave. Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes there's occupied space below these
Actually, you can go down there.
No.
Hmm.
There's like a concrete slab right underneath it.
I mean, it's a basement, but I don't
No.
quite know
Yeah,
how.
I know that the one up the block that I worked on, there's occupied space underneath that entrance. So
I think that one even goes under the sidewalk.
I think you're right. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
I
a
don't
coal
know that this
cellar or
one-
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess one thing I'm wondering about is if there's a way to repair or restore it, and have you had any similar kind of,
Like, the owners might want to weigh in on, they really felt very strongly about changing it. So,
understand that?
If you'd like to just explain a little bit of your vision, perhaps.
Yeah, there's a few factors. Number one, like the damage that you saw. Number two, even on the other side, we are going to make some configurations to the residential entrance, which is going to impact the tile as well. And there's also the thing that we're going to bring in a new commercial tenant in there,
Mhm.
and you have somebody else's business
Yeah.
kind of right in the entrance, so that I think there's a few factors there that kind of make it hard to keep it there. I don't think we're going to be able to get the curb appeal and enhance the building appearance with that. That's a big part of it. Like the ceiling, we were willing to budge on. We really wanted to take it down, but to her recommendation, we said, hey, we'll kind of keep that. But the floor is a big statement. It's a big part of the entrance.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I can remember some time ago on West 4th Street, there was a sign discovered underneath some stuff that was peeled off, but it was, I forget what it was.
Mhm.
And the new owners just couldn't deal with keeping that because it wasn't their business.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I totally hear what you're saying, and yet at the same time, it's part of the history here. So I mean, we're charged with being stewards of these buildings, but I feel it's also, it's also the history, and sometimes I don't know. I kind of wonder if sometimes a business coming in might feel proud to be carrying on that historical marker. And right now your proposal is to use a different tile, a different size, and nobody's name at all, right?
yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the converse to that is we don't know unless Jeff can tell us, what was the time period in which this F&W Grand, am I getting the name right, occupied this building? And did they own it? And
I think Jeff had a answer for that. Was it 1915, I believe you said? Or
I cannot say that it specifically happened
Okay.
at that moment, but I did quote from Secretary of Exterior Standards as a catch-all, just in case, specifically, changes to a property that have acquired historic significance in their own right will also be retained and preserved. So if it's original or if it came there after, it definitely predates the cutoff date of the district, which is
Okay.
1950.
Yep.
So I intentionally chose that one to include for that very question.
Mhm. Yeah, see, I think I feel more strongly about retaining and preserving that tile than, than the doors, which, it feels kind of a shame to lose some of those details around the doors. And, here's the toss up. I mean, we're also, at the same time, we're making it an accessible entrance, which I think is important too.
We're keeping, I don't know, and I think they have this drawing, correct?
Yes.
We're kind of keeping the same look. I know we're going up in size on the hexagon. I don't know if that's the issue there, but we're going to keep the same kind of thing that's going on right now.
And we're doing the same. There's an edge on it with the dark green. They currently have it as a dark green tile.
Mhm.
We would do a similar color that would be approved and do the edging like that as well. And when we do make the residential entrance, whatever design is currently there, it's going to block off half of it, so it'll look unfinished.
Yeah.
On the 13 side, the 15 side is heavily damaged, and there's a step, so something needs to happen there as well.
Yeah, I don't see how we're going to renovate this storefront and really keep this tile going here.
You know, my experience trying to repair these is you can't get the square edge tile easily to actually
You're never going to find something.
repair it so that it looks like it does or did, or like 13 side does. That's hard. I have found some square edge tiles not frostproof.
What if, or would it be possible to do some sort of mosaic that, or some sort of inlay that mimics what's there? And I'm not saying we need to replicate exactly what's there, but in the spirit of having a mosaic, sign in that tile in the entranceways, could we do some other pattern that kind of pays homage to the fact that there was a
So maybe a rectangular inset that
right, like of a
that had
contrasting color
something.
or star pattern or something.
Just around it.
Like what a
I think
design
that's
here.
that's a good idea,
Like
Todd.
removing that name.
So I'm not fully understanding, but you're saying.
So in other words, we're hypothetically, if we were to say, okay, we can replace this tile, right, and get rid of what's there, what we go back with is a similar hexagonal tile, but you need to do some sort of mosaic inlay in each of these entranceways that pays homage to the mosaics that were there at one time,
So
and whether
design
that's
something.
a rectangle or a hexagon or a square or a star or something to that effect.
I think that's fair.
I don't know if it's a 13 and a 15 in the two of them.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that would be
Something.
nice.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, we'd be willing to do that. Absolutely.
Because we're keeping the colors the same as well. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if that's something.
Yeah. I
that-
mean,
Relatively-
I don't have.
relatively
yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
Was just looking at a different scale just to be a little bit more contemporary, but
Understood.
Well, I feel like I still want to see something closer. If we're going to replace it, I want to see a tile, a hexagonal that's closer in size to what was there.
What size are you proposing?
Something that's close to what was there.
Exactly.
So it's
I don't
like
know if we can find a middle grounder.
if
Let's say
I mean,
2
there
inch
are,
maximum,
it's like an inch and a half, something like that.
inch and a half, 2 inch.
Yeah, it looks like
It depends too if it's domestic or metric.
Hmm.
It may not be a standard English dimension, depending on where it's available.
I can tell you it's a lot easier to find the 2 inch than it is the 3 inch.
Yeah, agreed.
And no one wanted to go as big as 6, which is easy to get as well. So we found the 3. I thought this might be a nice in between, but 2 is not that hard to find.
good.
Just means it's going to be more cost effective
Potentially.
in all likelihood. I'm trying to sell it to your owner, Christine.
More detailed mosaic.
We're here to find compromise.
This is a real dance here.
Hey, just one last thing. I mean, again, I really feel strongly about, these names connected to these places but maybe another possibility is to at least include the number of the building in the mosaic. I mean,
I think the 13 and the 15 is what you're saying, Gary?
perhaps.
Yes, I think they're very supportive of that idea. Yeah.
We just to clarify, we were thinking when we did the apartments, we were gonna label the apartment entrance 13, and just in case we found one commercial tenant that took all the commercial space, we would label that side 15. So both doors technically would be 15 if we found one commercial tenant, if that makes sense. I mean, but we can just put 15 East 3rd Street on both sides, something of that sort.
And then 13 in the floor of the residential.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're kind of saying, this is what we want you to look at, and you would come back to us. And I don't know if that's just an informal email with this is our proposed design, or are you coming back to the historic conservation? So we'll have to talk about that. But I think we're looking for you to put a proposal as to what these mosaics would look like in front of us.
Yeah, we can get a design, and I mean, if you guys are okay, agree with it, we just email what the floor is going to look like, maybe
Okay.
even make a rendering.
Yeah, and if a number is what you ultimately decide to submit as your thing, I just have to make sure that the addressing is correct
Yeah.
for
Mhm.
That's a
post office.
post office thing.
Before we let you put any number in.
Yeah.
So it's going to be subject to a couple reviews prior to.
So it's possible that they would stay with the 1315 and then the residential might be 13A or, so there's a lot of different.
Yeah, I don't know
things.
what the post office is going to.
Yeah, good point.
It's going to be out of our control of what the
Okay.
numbering is.
Do we have to put a design? Let's say we make a box. Will we just be able to make some sort of design with the tiles? Or
Rather than the address?
I'm open to
Just
that.
'cause it's-
Yeah, I think that's okay too.
No.
You get bonus points if it somehow relates to South Bethlehem.
Well, we're putting the
know what that
Bethlehem
looks
Star
like,
as
yeah.
the light. I mean, we're trying here.
That means another silhouette of a blast furnace. I guess.
We're trying to keep the historic spirit as much as we can, while at the same time attracting a modern tenant that is going to like the space.
Well, you'd be surprised, but I think a lot of tenants that come into South Bethlehem are kind of excited about the history and things that tie into it. And anyway, I'm trying to take account of the number of items that are on here that I think need to be part of a motion. For tonight, are to keep things moving? I think I see 7 items on here that should be part of a motion. There's the floor we just discussed at the entrance door. There's the butt glazed new storefronts. There's the entrance doors itself. There's the signage ban we haven't really talked about yet. There's the pendant lighting. And finally, there's the painting of the cast stone sills. I think the question with the signage ban was what confirmation on the material? Is that what you were looking for, Jeff?
I mean, we could use I believe Jeff said that the fiber cement is something that you've been approving. What you were open to, we want to have a smooth surface and an overlay with trim boards and molding to create 3 panels, it's a little hard to see in the rendering, but if you look closely, you see the 3 panels.
Are the 3? I see them in the drawing, but are the 3 panels the same size?
I believe the center is smaller and the other 2 are slightly larger, just trying to center.
The other 2, the left and right, are the same size
Yes.
as each other?
Yes. And then there's a little extension on the left side because the building storefront level goes all the way to the next building, but the upper part steps in. It's strange. And you'll see that the masonry molding stops at the point where the building second floor starts, but the storefront band goes a little bit further. But we were just going to let that be smooth.
Can you talk around the apartment entrance? Just why did you set? I mean, I understand that the reason we're like creating solid walls there and kind of dividing that off. Is there a strong reason to have that door open towards the sidewalk versus having it open towards the
inside where it currently
yeah,
is.
that inside area?
And let's say you're moving in, you're bringing in
Oh,
a sofa,
yeah,
and
right.
then your commercial tenants there, that they would just.
Yep, straight shot is a lot easier, isn't it? Is this the only entrance into the apartments?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
All right, any more comments or questions on this? And any questions from members of the public that are here tonight? If,
Who's going to struggle through the motion?
right,
Yeah, I
right.
mean-
Um,
And we'll try to get samples once we can get the right material to you and Jeff. But this gives the direction.
Yeah, so I think who's ever making the motion should take that into account, whether we want them to come back here for, whether that should be part of a follow-up meeting or whether we're all comfortable with it being done through Jeff and Mike and possibly myself.
I think it could be simply judged. We've discussed the concept.
Mhm.
The concept is clear, so it's just a matter of the details.
Yeah, right. And I don't think bringing the actual materials back to a subsequent meeting is going to result in any delays, right? It's like if we approve the direction,
Yeah, and the owners would love to get a permit to get going.
sure.
And
Mhm.
hopefully in that time, we'll have those materials worked out.
Okay.
I'm always thinking too, and, in terms of what we're doing in this district and, there's always this push and pull and tug of war that, there's a certain amount of historic preservation and yet there's a certain amount of, we offer some flexibility with an eye towards, helping businesses here in our district. And it's like personally, I would love to see you all maintain that, the existing storefront. I mean, those existing entrance doors, they have just really unique details on them. The entranceway tile has some, I mentioned my feeling about the name and its connection with history here. I feel like that's always a struggle for me, is just that, what's the right balance. And,
Yeah.
I certainly understand what you're trying to do. And, I really appreciate that. I mean, it's a beautiful building. It really deserves to be better used. I appreciate all your hard work and effort and thoughtfulness in this. So having said all that, who's going to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll try.
Thank you.
I'll start. I just want to echo Gary's comments, and I don't think we should overlook the way that they are working with us to preserve the upper portions of this building. I think your first application was to paint it, right? And we said hold the phone. So I can certainly appreciate the amount of effort you're putting into preserving this structure and really improving it and making it function for its proposed use, which will help revitalize the south side. So my motion is to approve the design and configuration of the storefront as presented. I don't think that there needs to be too many asterisks to that because it is presented clearly. However, the motion includes that the applicant will bring back samples of the tile, a drawing of the proposed mosaics in the entrances, and I'd also like to see a sample of the paint treatment for the cast stone sills prior to putting our seal of approval on that. I don't know where we landed on dividing the transoms into two to echo what was there previously or what's there currently. So I guess I didn't get a nod one way or the other from you guys.
The applicants would like to have a single one, I think mostly to put
Okay.
a street address in the center.
And I'm gonna back off on that since we're replacing with aluminum and getting rid of the existing entrances. I think it would be a nice detail, but I'm not going to include that in the motion. Is there anything that that motion did not capture, Gary, in terms of
Okay.
changes?
Yeah, I don't think you mentioned the sign band.
Well, I think the rendering presents the
Okay.
intent.
So, okay.
So that's all kind of captured.
Um,
Do the elevations capture that? No.
They'll be coming to us for any signage.
Right.
When that develops.
Right. They have a tile that they want to use at the knee wall.
Yes. and
So
they're-
that is
that's-
just not the color.
We
but
want them to
that's-
bring samples back of
Okay,
that for
so-
approval.
Okay,
And
Lighting.
samples for the flooring as well,
Okay.
with on the understanding that our preference is for a 2-inch tile. So you'll bring those back. We'll give you the nod. Lighting, I'm okay with the concept presented. It would be nice to see the actual fixture cut at a future meeting. So I don't think that's going to delay your progress in applying for permits or anything, but we should approve that fixture as well, please.
Any further discussion on this motion?
Just that, so we're okay with the 2-inch tile in the opening there, but we'd like to see the design.
Yeah, that's
Right,
right.
we'll
My
have a
motion
drawing.
included that they were to bring back
Okay, I didn't.
the proposed mosaics
Okay,
design in the entrance, as well as samples of all tile.
Okay.
And a sample of the paint treatment for the cast stone sills. Right, so those are the 4 things that, and I'm sorry, the cut sheet for the light. 5 things that we're gonna see at a future meeting for approval. Other
I
than
got
that,
4 on my list. What did I miss? The tile
the light
samples,
fixture,
light fixture,
proposed
the
drawing of mosaics,
drawing.
the tile sample for the floor, the tile sample for the wall,
Oh, okay.
and the sample of the paint treatment for the
It's-
cast
okay.
stone sills.
It's the 2 walls, the wall and the floor. Okay.
Yep.
The knee wall would be similar to former Ramble's jeweler.
Where's that?
Right. Okay,
All right.
so is there any second on this motion?
Well, I'll second.
Okay, so let's put it to a vote. Go ahead. Oh, okay.
The knee wall material, it's New York Pizza next to the post office. It
Okay.
was the former Ramble's jeweler. And that was a marble or whatever and had been taken away. And they put in I think a porcelain, I believe, with the grates in it and stuff that were there, but as opposed to the reeded material. You know, it was just another choice there.
Right.
And it's the same knee wall and it was available in colors. I didn't know if you were married to any particular.
They were interested in what we had just in terms of the 3-dimensionality of it, but we haven't been able to find it yet. So we have,
I like
that
the
would,
reeded look.
I mean, but if we can't find that, doing something that recalls perhaps the stone might end up being an option. But we're trying to find something that's just
Okay.
a little bit more 3-dimensional.
So just a side thing on your motion, Todd. I think the other thing I have a problem with is the painting of the cast stone sills, which I understand to be to freshen things up. Is that right?
Correct. When we worked on cleaning the brick, I don't know if you got to see it, but it looks pretty clean now.
Yeah.
But now I feel that sill belt kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, and we try to clean it up and refresh it. We're gonna go with the color that's natural and looks like concrete. Anyways, it's gonna be like a beige. So we're not gonna paint it red or anything weird like that.
And the same product we use on the brick, we tried on the concrete as well. It wasn't cleaning as well. So now when you look at it, you can see the grime on that portion. So we're just trying to freshen it up.
So I would like to take another look at it in person because I feel strongly about not painting it. So if we could, if we're asking for them to come back for a follow-up, can we revisit that as part of your motion?
Yeah, I asked for a sample of it
Okay,
so we can see it and evaluate it as to whether it's appropriate or not at that future meeting.
okay, very good. All right, so I think we're ready to put this to a vote now, yeah? Craig?
All right.
Aye. Todd?
Aye.
And Mike?
Aye.
Okay.
And
great.
and then the finishes wouldn't hold up permitting if is that correct?
What would you be looking to permit?
So just the tile samples.
So
Would
you'd have
that-
to do the tiles in conjunction with the storefront, I would assume, right?
Right,
So-
we'll have it soon, but I know we might want to get, he might want to get submitted for permits before I actually have it, but just
Let me
trying
see
to
what you-
clarify it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let me take a look at what's submitted and I'll let it go as far as I can without the samples or whatever.
okay.
Yeah, I don't think that the actual selections of those materials should hold up your building permit.
I don't think so
but
either.
That's Mike's department.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's
Yeah.
why I'm looking at Mike. I know they'd like to, time is money too. So
Yep.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Sure is.
thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Christine.
Thank you. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Likewise. I'm just going to ask for a minute or two for a bathroom break, if that's okay.
Intermission.
And then otherwise, we're up to item number 312 East 3rd Street. I'm sorry, East 4th Street.
You can mute it.
Joe McCarthy and Joe Sedler.
Okay.
So just
Wel-
use
welcome
Joe.
back.
Yeah, you should.
Joe will work for
Joe
both of us.
squared.
Yes, sir. It's a SED.
Now, we have an old
ER.
building, I think,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
church.
Yeah,
1880,
yeah.
They started construction, so
What year does it go to?
Huh?
What year is it from?
1882, they started construction,
Neat.
Wasn't the original church older?
and there was an original one prior.
Yeah.
At the site,
Oh,
from
okay.
1863.
So it's a good thing we weren't around in 1863.
It's true.
Well, how many years
Are we
do you
ready?
look back for
Yeah.
historic significance?
Okay.
Yep, we're back.
All right, thank you. 312 East 4th Street. Building description, period style, and defining features. This church structure is a detached, three-bay, stone masonry, institutional building with a steep gable roof and cross gable transepts. Each bay includes an entrance portal with pointed Gothic arch and upper-level windows, also with pointed Gothic arches. The larger central bay with the north-facing rose window extends up to become the church bell tower. Originally called St. Michael's Roman Catholic Church, it was constructed circa 1865, but was later expanded and modified circa 1885 to become Holy Infancy Roman Catholic Church. The church is Gothic Revival in style. The applicant proposes to install a new ADA-compliant handicap ramp with pipe railings. The guideline citations are used to assess the proposal will include the Secretary of Interior Standards number 9. We had that previously. It has to do specifically with new additions, exterior alterations, or related new construction. Specifically, they will not destroy the historic materials, features, spatial relationships that characterize the property. The new work should differentiate itself from the old, but be compatible with the historic materials, features, size, scale, and proportion, and massing to protect the integrity of the property and its environment. Also, the Secretary of Interior Standard number 10, that new additions and adjacent or related new construction will be undertaken in such a manner that if removed in the future, the essential form and integrity of the historical property and its environment remain unimpaired. And also the Bethlehem ordinance that Mr. Lader read at the beginning of tonight's meeting. My evaluation, the effects on the district and recommendations. The certificate of appropriateness application indicates the intent to install a new ADA compliant ramp with pipe railing to facilitate handicap access inside. The proposed exterior ramp is to be installed at the west facade entrance along Taylor Street near the northwest corner at East 4th Street. The new concrete ramp is to be poured after select existing sidewalk segments are saw cut and removed. The overall ramp dimensions are approximately 114 inches wide by 72 inches deep. The associated steel pipe railing is to be installed directly into the new concrete and remain independent of the existing church structure. The proposed ADA compliant ramp with pipe railing assembly is appropriate as presented, pending clarification that the control joints will be inserted between the new concrete and the existing stone masonry structure to ensure that the new construction, if removed, does not compromise the form and integrity of the existing historic structure.
Oh, thanks, Joe. All right, is there anything else you want to comment on for this?
Well, I guess we applied for a permit.
Mhm.
September 11th.
Okay.
And I followed up a couple times with the permit. And I guess a week and a half ago, I was told, oh, you have to go to the Historic Conservation Committee.
Okay,
And apologize that we missed that. We are ready to move.
Okay.
It's It's not big, it's small. And this door, this entrance is a result of, in essence, meeting we had out at the site in 2023.
Okay.
We wanted to put a ramp on the other side. Suggestion was that we look inside. An elevator that has been installed, but not
Right.
inspected yet by L&I.
Okay.
And this is the entrance. This is the entrance that people will use that elevator.
Okay.
The elevator just has like a 12-foot change in elevation from the lower level to midway where people enter and then up to the sanctuary floor.
So Jeff, you said this is appropriate?
But this is the ramp now. Elevator,
Yeah, no, I'm talking about, yeah.
Yes, I believe what he describes predates your involvement. They had proposed previously a very elaborate ramp system on the other side.
Mhm.
And because the other facade is cut into the hillside, it was also an incredible length of ramp that needed quite a few intermediate landings, etc.
Yep.
And it also involved modifying an existing window on the upper floor level as a door. When we did the site visit, the consensus was to encourage them to consider the other side and work with the pitch
Yeah,
of
catch
the sidewalk.
Yep.
And with very few modifications, they could accomplish what they were looking for. So my biggest concern, and it's not a huge concern, but we just want clarification that it's constructed in such a way, if a future generation decides to pull it off, that the building itself is not being compromised.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no adverse effects. Can I just ask a quick question? Why do you want the railing?
The railing is in particular because, so with the slope, as he had talked about, on the left side of the landing, about an 8.5-inch drop. So it's more than what would be a typical step.
Does that take into account the 1/4 inch per foot slope of the landing away
Yes.
from the building? Okay, so we're still going to
so-
have that 8.5.
Yeah, and a lot of that too was just because there isn't much of a rise. I mean, on the right-hand side, you're only talking
2 inches.
2 inches or less. This is more of a safety issue too. Somebody comes rolling up there with a
Yeah. Yeah.
wheelchair. You don't want them off the other side.
Sure. And
I
you
can see a
don't
lot
want,
of people tripping.
Yeah.
Because they don't look
I
down
get
at
it.
their feet when they're
So
walking.
it is a rail just on the one side. It's independent of the church. There's nothing attached to the church. And I agree, we can use an expansion joint when we pour the pad so that if it needs to be broken and taken
Yep.
out, it doesn't even affect the building at all.
I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think there's a requirement for that top rail to return into
There
the
is.
post.
I was just going to comment on two things for it. So if you're going to submit these plans for plan review
Okay.
for the drawing, the top rail, you're 1 foot. It does need to be 1 foot out, but it needs to return back into the
Okay,
the
that's
rail.
it's like a D,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
that's fine.
so somebody doesn't catch their purse on it.
And just
Or
make sure
pants.
you show the 6 foot or 5 foot ring in the upper landing.
That's fine too.
And-
I can
and
make that revision.
One more comment on the whole railing. You don't really need that middle one because you're not trying to create
It's not a guard. Yep.
Yeah, you don't.
And the reason I'm saying not to have it is because it looks a little industrial right now. I might even save you some money if you don't have that in there. Well, it'll be a wash once you put the return on the top. But anyway, I prefer to see it more minimal and simplified and not have the middle one.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not required, we can definitely remove it.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
Okay. I feel I could make a motion on this if, is there any more questions or comments?
Nope.
And any,
I also meant to clarify, I'm sorry, Mr. Chambers, that ADA compliance also supersedes HCC. So on certain things, I can't really comment because
Yep.
we would just get pushback from other departments.
Fair enough.
So I'm kind of always cautious when it has to do specifically with ADA compliance.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to issue a certificate of appropriateness for Holy Infancy Church at 312 East 4th Street for their proposed landing and ramp with the following clarifications that they incorporate a control joint between the new construction and the existing church to allow for, if there's ever possibly a reason for them to remove this, that they modify the railing to include a return at the 1 foot extension, and that the design is simplified not to have the middle bar that they're showing. Okay,
Second.
second, thank you. Let's put it to the vote. Craig?
Aye.
Aye. Todd?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, and with that, we're up to item number 4 for 21 East 3rd Street. And and again, just sign in and announce your names.
My name is Minky Yang.
Minkia, did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
The building description, period, style, and defining features. This structure is an attached 2-story, 5-bay commercial building with stucco over masonry construction. Building dates from circa 1920. However, the original storefront was significantly modified during the mid to late 20th century and has a recessed entry with entrance door / shop window storefront combination flanked on either side with display windows. The building has an upper parapet and a low sloping roof, a heavy upper projecting cornice with decorative brackets, and a simpler intermediate cornice with no supporting brackets above the sign band. Various facade modifications prevent the assignment of a specific architectural style. The proposed alterations, the applicant proposes to install 1 new wall sign with LED illuminated backlit channel letters, and also 1 non-illuminated projecting blade sign. The guideline citations I used included the Secretary of Interior Standards number 9. I had that on all the previous applications concerning revisions to an existing building, the Bethlehem Ordinance, as well as the signage guidelines. My evaluation, the effect on the Historic Conservation District, and recommendations. The Certificate of Appropriateness application indicates the intent to install 1 new wall-mounted aluminum pan sign within the existing sign band and 1 new blade sign hanging from the new decorative scroll bracket to reflect a new commercial tenant. The scale drawing of the proposed signage with an elevation facade view as indicated required on the application is not included, so the application is incomplete. So again, we have some computer generated views, but nothing to scale that I can scale off of. The overall dimensions of the proposed wall sign are 30 inches tall by 112 inches wide, which matches the dimensions of the previous sign at the same location, which was determined previously by HCC as appropriate. The applied lettering measures 22 inches tall. The width of the applied lettering was not indicated. The proposed rigid backer is 3-inch thick aluminum pan in a bright white color with an offset pinstripe border around the sign perimeter in black color. There's a 4-inch thick aluminum channel letters with black aluminum returns, black plastic trim caps, acrylic faces in warm white or ivory color with a matte finish, and also with outlines in black color. And those spell out Tai Chi, followed by 3 Chinese characters, all in large, bold, sans serif lettering. The channel letters are individually pin mounted directly into the rigid backer using aluminum studs with 1.5-inch spacers to offset the letters from the face of the backer. Illumination is accomplished with LED lighting in 2700 Kelvin color temperature behind each letter and character, resulting in a backlit halo effect. The proposed signage within the existing sign band is appropriate, pending clarification of a few details. Confirm the overall width dimension of the applied letters. So we have the width of the sign, we have the height of the sign, and the height of the letters. It was just missing the width of the letters. Confirm that the front faces of the letters and characters are solid and not opaque so that the illumination does not penetrate through. Confirm there are no conduits, raceways, or junction boxes associated with the illumination that are visible. HCC traditionally considers bright white color inappropriate within the district, so consider a warm white or ivory color for the rigid backer, and also confirm that all sides of the rigid backer receive the same color as the front. HCC traditionally considers a maximum 2-inch thickness as appropriate for dimensional lettering within the district, so discussion is warranted. And we had that 2 agendas ago. They came to us before with 4-inch thick, and they came back to us with 2-inch thick. The HCC traditionally considers outlines around letters inappropriate unless those are integral to the design of the corporate logo. So discussion is warranted. So it does look like, based on the computer-generated design, that the faces are not only solids, but they have some kind of an outline. In the past, you've considered that inappropriate. Again, only if it's part of their logo, then that's part of the logo, and we don't prevent people from posting their corporate logos. So that was the sign in the sign band. Switching topics now, the overall dimensions of the proposed double-sided blade sign are 24 inches tall by 24 inches wide. There is a center circle graphic, and the diameter of that graphic was not provided, but graphically it fits within the 24-inch sign. The sign material is 1-inch thick aluminum with bright white background color. Graphics include one bold circle outline in black color with a series of subsequent concentric circles, beginning with a large circle in medium green color that includes the text Tai Chi Bubble Tea in all uppercase, bold, sans serif lettering within the upper portion, and 3 Chinese characters in the lower portion. The letters and characters are bright white in color. The subsequent smaller concentric circle is medium brown in color, while the subsequent even smaller concentric circle is bright white in color. The center of the circle seems to be a yin-yang pattern. It's a bit small on our application, so they might want to correct me. But it seems to be that traditional symbol with one segment dark green in color and the remaining segment dark brown in color. The blade sign is to be hung from a new decorative metal scroll bracket. The proposed bracket is 36 inches long. The overall height of the bracket is not indicated. The distance between the edge of the blade sign and the front face of the existing sign band is 6 inches. The accompanying narrative confirms there's no eternal illumination. Rather, the applicant is relying on existing ambient street and storefront lighting for illumination. The proposed double-sided blade sign is appropriate pending clarification of the following details. Just for purposes of the certificate, it would be nice to know the diameter of that outer circle graphic, just to reconfirm it fits within the square. Confirm the installation location of the scroll bracket. We really need to understand critical dimensions between the sidewalk, the public right-of-way, and the underside of the blade sign, and also somehow in relation to either the other sign or in relation to the side of the building, something that allows us to define where that sign is going to go. If I had a measure drawing, I could come up with something approximate, but we just have the computer-generated view. Also, typically, we include how the bracket is to be installed. I saw a picture of a bracket, but not any way of knowing how they're going to install that bracket into the building. The narrative does say concealed fasteners, but offers no further details. HCC traditionally considers bright white color inappropriate within the district, so they might want to consider a warm white or ivory color for the sign background and also for the lettering and characters. And finally, we need confirmation that the sides of the sign are the same color as the fronts. So it has two fronts. And we all assume, but sometimes we had it where people come back and the edges have a different color. So we just need confirmation that all of the small sides of the sign match the fronts, both fronts of the sign.
Okay, well, thank you, Jeff. Well, Minkia, thank you again for joining us. Would you care to comment on some of the questions that Jeff had?
First of all, is the diameter of the graphic.
The blade sign or
The wall sign, right?
Now, the blade sign, I think, is what he's asking about.
The blade.
This one.
diameter area of the blade sign?
We can check with the.
I would ballpark that at 20 inches. Yeah. If it's a 24-inch square and we're 2 inches in on either side, it's a 20-inch circle.
Okay,
Let's call it a 20-inch circle.
2 inches. Yeah, sorry. Unfortunately, the person who make the sign for us is in New York City, so cannot be here. And
Yeah,
we
but-
too are.
But yeah, you know what? We'll talk through these things, and you could give them the notes.
Okay, yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, 20-inch diameter. Right.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
And then similarly, I know we asked them to address it, but I have a similar note on the primary panel sign. Just doing some quick math, the overall sign's 30 inches tall and the letters are 22 inches, which results in an 8-inch divided by 2 gap. So we have a 4-inch border. So if you back that 8 inches off of the 112 inches of the sign, we wind up with 104 inches for the maximum dimensions of the lettering. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Thank you, Todd.
Yep. Width dimension, correct.
Width.
Yep. But quick question, would you guys be okay with reducing the depth of the letters from 4 inches to 2 inches?
We're okay
Yeah,
with that.
sure.
Yeah.
I think it's going to look better personally.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, and the other thing, I have some familiarity with this project because I helped them redevelop it.
Right.
Um, I think the blade sign should be mounted in the same location as the previous blade sign, right? You can see on the pictures of the
Yeah.
building,
Is this it here?
that's the Crewy Woo sign for the neighboring tenant. This one's going at the
Oh,
other
okay.
end. So if you look at the pictures earlier in the packet, you can see where the holes are
Oh, okay.
in that signage band where they removed
Oh, okay. I
the
see.
Toastique sign.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So we
the
want to put the
intention.
bracket right back there.
To put in the same place. Great.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the only other question I had, I think we're showing a bright white for the background of both of these. Are you okay with changing that to an ivory
Yeah.
instead of bright
Okay.
white? I think it'll look better with your off-white vinyl letter or color of your letters too.
So ivory for both the panel and also the blade?
Yeah, just
Okay.
just an off-white instead of bright white.
Okay. Ivory.
I think so. I mean, I know Jeff was also commenting on the
Oh, this-
on the outline, which and again, you know, the question is that part of their corporate logo?
So yeah, is this a franchise?
Yes,
Yes.
it is. Yeah. It is the corporate logo.
Okay.
In the dark green and the brown, it is like a sign of the Tai Chi, yeah, yin and yang, yeah.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Any questions or comments from our one audience member? No, I don't think so, right? Okay. Is there is someone ready to make a motion on this?
I'll do it.
Thank you, Todd.
So the motion is to approve the sign design as presented with the presented, not prevented, yes, presented with the following minor changes and clarifications. 2-inch letter depth instead of 4 inches. The backer panel and sides of the wall sign will be ivory. Jeff, if I'm going too quick, say the word. The background of the blade sign will be ivory, and the sides of the blade sign will be ivory. The letter width on the wall sign will be 104 inches. The diameter of the blade sign graphic will be a maximum of 20 inches. And the scroll bracket for the blade sign will be installed in the same location as the previous tenant's blade sign.
Correct.
Okay, very good.
I'll
I'll
second.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Yep. And put to a vote. Craig?
Aye.
I vote aye.
Aye.
And Mike?
Aye.
Okay, very good. The motion carries unanimously. Thank you. for your
Congratulations.
help.
Yeah.
See you on Friday.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to your business opening.
Thank you. So do we need to come back?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
No, so you'll receive something in the mail that council voted on it and approved your sign. Did you guys submit your building permit applications?
No,
Oh, the building.
not for the sign.
Yeah, you have to submit your building permit applications too. So that
Okay.
would be your next step to do.
And your
Okay.
sign guy will make those drawings.
Yes.
Yep. And you just submit them to Mike's office for the permit.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
With the changes.
Yes.
Yes, with the changes. Yep. Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you. Second on that?
Second.
Okay, very good. Minutes approved. Any old business or new business?
I have none.
I think we need to push somebody to bring some new members to this commission.
I spoke to the mayor the other night.
Oh, good.
And he's waiting for us to have a meeting with him.
Oh, when,
And I just set it up that we would talk to him and I figured
okay,
we were open tonight.
okay,
So
all right.
he's open to that.
Okay, good. Because I know I'm sure there's people out there who would like to join us. So,
I spoke to the Kathy Fletcher, the new planning and zoning director. She's going to join us at the beginning of next month's meeting.
great. Okay,
Just
It'll
introduce herself.
be, yeah, in December, we're still the third
I think
Monday.
it's December 17th.
okay.
I could be wrong. I'm not 100%. You know what? Let me look right now. So I get in case it's on record here.
December 15th.
15th? December 15th.
Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Who's going to set up the meeting with the mayor?
I could talk to his office and see what's available, and then I'll circulate some times
Perfect.
for everybody.
That's fine. I would think that we can probably discuss this in a half an hour at most. 15, 20 minutes is probably adequate.
Did he indicate why he wants all of us to meet with them?
No,
Okay,
it's up to us.
okay. I'll try to maybe both of us, I'll reach out separately and, because maybe if they get bothered enough.
I just
I have no
just
problem
made the
bothering
point-
them every day, so.
I just made the point that I was the only original member and I was getting lonely.
Yeah,
Yeah, we need more members.
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't good what happened today that, it was 2-2 and,
Yeah. Desiree couldn't make it last minute, and that happens.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
For
sure.
And
Either way,
more
we
members
just,
should be better.
this
Yeah.
should be like a 9-person commission, I think,
Yeah.
by the ordinance. So,
Yeah, we're way low.
yeah. How's Northside doing? Do they need people too?
Are we offline?
No, we're
No.
still online.
We're still
Let's,
on.
let's motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
So moved.